Did you know that the debt people rack up over holiday spending often takes them at least 6 months before they can pay it back? All so they can spend money for Christmas. We were talking about spending habits of people around Christmas time and the holiday and how wasteful the spending is.
Yes.
So many people, the conversation I have with them is always about building health, wealth, happiness, fulfillment, all those things. And they always have to do somewhat with money. They're entangled with money, obviously, because success is important if you want to reach your goals. It takes a little bit of money and it takes some work. And for those who are real estate related and wanting to invest more, they got to have a little bit of money, right? It's not just, everybody sells these programs and talks about these programs of, you don't need any money to get into real estate. Well, yes, you do. You need a little bit. Yeah. So the point is, if you need a little bit, you have to have a way to save a little bit and stop spending your money on stupid stuff.
Yes, totally. And that's what people do. I mean, everybody, it's like the American way. People just blow so much money at Christmas time and get into so much debt with credit cards and whatnot. It's just, it's bad.
Tons of money. Here's what blows my mind. And this is what people need to know. Look, if you don't have the money available to you, set aside for you, and you're putting Christmas on credit cards, it's costing you far more than what you spent just on the gifts alone.
Absolutely.
Studies show, and I pulled up some statistics here, that it takes consumers 6 months before they can pay off they're saying an average debt for Christmas is about $1,500.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it goes up each year. It did trend down just a little bit in 23, probably because all the pain from people coming out of COVID and all that changed a little bit. But then it ramped right back up. So I'm sure it's probably more like $1,500 to $1,700 now.
Yeah.
In the state of our economy, which money's challenging for a lot of people. But there's nothing more foolish than racking up credit card debt that has high interest rate, because most credit cards are going to come with a high interest rate. It's unsecured debt. There's nothing to back it up by. So they're just saying, hey, so-and-so, we're going to trust that you pay for this. So when you swipe it, you just got money, but we don't really have anything to back it by, like a mortgage has a house, or like a car loan has a car, that they'll go repossess. You don't have that the same way with unsecured debt, which is what credit card debt is. And then you get in the cycle of the interest payment that comes with it, which could be, 15, 18. It's not uncommon to have 18%. Even 25, 30% I've heard before.
Wow. That's terrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
What is the joy if you are putting yourself in stress and you are pressure testing your finances that it takes you 6 months to be able to pay for, all so you can give presents to somebody?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
I don't know. And that's how, and we grew up that way. Like my parents.
Your family?
And I didn't know, when we were kids, we didn't know, obviously, but I mean, we pretty much got what we asked for, what was on our list. And
Mommy, I want a squirrel.
Yeah. And so, it's just how they were. And as I grew older, I learned it was, they got into major credit card debt, not just from Christmas, but there was no set budgets. There was no, maybe there was, but it was ridiculous if there was, because we pretty much got, like I said, what we asked for. So
they were bad with their money from the start, and you just saw the bad habits in their money in other areas in Christmas and just in general, because they had all year long they had money issues, and it was related to their spending habits.
Exactly. So then by them just blowing money like they did, it was great getting the presents we wanted because we got, like I said, what we asked for, but knowing later what it caused them, in their debt and having to, do certain things as they got older with consolidation and all those things. It's
basically a form of bankruptcy.
Yeah, it was bad, and we didn't know as kids that was happening. But like with our kids, we never had things like that. Like we always set a budget. We always
and it was small.
We still stick to like everything. It's always spent equally on all the kids. They have exact amounts, and it's not much. Because we believe it's more about spending time together and having family time and making memories than just blowing a bunch of money and, giving gifts like that. It's fun giving gifts, but yeah.
I think you have to really question yourself and say, hey, why am I buying these gifts
Yeah. It's
Period.
fair. Yeah.
Why am I buying them? Am I buying them out of obligation? Am I buying them because it's my family tradition, so I feel uncomfortable if I'm buying them, even though I don't have the funds available to buy them?
Right.
And to me, that's a big mistake. That's a trap that will keep you poor. You have to come to a point in your mind sometime that you're going to say, I don't care what people think. I just don't have the extra money, so why would I put myself at risk and create debt that could linger 6+ months for me to pay back on my credit cards and all the extra interest that we talked about that you'll be paying, just so I don't feel a little uncomfortable at Christmas time.
And I used to, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but back early on, we didn't have any money when we were first married, but I remember having that same feeling like I had to do the same thing like how I grew up. There, needs to be tons of presents under the trees.
Yeah,
and there,
we just
you know
didn't
what I
have
mean?
money.
It was like,
and we didn't spend it to go into
no.
debt to buy the gifts.
Right. If we didn't have the money, then we weren't going to buy it.
We didn't spend it.
And that's how it still is today. We don't blow money like that. But yeah, I remember worrying about that. Like, well, what is everybody going to think? Because we're so used to having all these presents and, doing all, and it was totally different for us.
Here's the way wealthy people operate. Number one, you don't spend money you don't have.
Right.
Number two,
Not anything.
you don't spend money that you know is on the way, but you still don't have.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you don't have it. Life happens, right? All the time.
Anything
and all of a
can
sudden,
happen.
I call, whenever I help people with budgeting, we talk about the life category, and they're always like, wow, that's so much. I'm like, yeah, I know. Trust me. You may not use it month 1, 2, or 3, but it's going to show its face, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And I'm going to be like, hey, remember that life category that we added, I don't know, $300-$400 to a month when you're like, it's so much. And now you just got a car repair for $1,200. There you go. You're welcome. I told you it was going to come. It's always going to come, that life category.
So what do you suggest people do as far as to help keep themselves out of debt for?
Well, we're talking about the way
holidays.
Wealthy people operate. And what's funny is people who have less, statistically speaking, spend their money more freely. And that's part of the reason why they have less. They don't accumulate more savings. They don't, grow their future. And you don't see evidence because they're spending money on wasteless stuff, on gifts. And look, I'm not a Scrooge here. I love Christmas and all that, but I think you have to be logical in your finances of what you're buying, what you're spending, and is this realistic? Is this a smart move?
Right.
Because it's usually not. What the wealthy people do is they're either very conservative, number one, or number two, they have so much extra it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if you're in one of those places, those are good places to be. That's a wealthy mindset, is don't waste your money on things you truly can't afford. Now, when you get to a point where you have plenty of money available and it won't have an impact, you don't have to put it on credit card, or you're paying it off as soon as that statement comes. Right. That's a big difference. Then great. I mean, we charge everything.
Yes.
We charge everything, and it's because of convenience. But it doesn't matter the bill size.
Yeah,
It doesn't
pay it
matter
off
what
every
the
month.
bill is. It's paid off every month when that statement comes.
Yep.
Because we're not spending beyond what we know we can handle or what the finances can support.
Yep.
The thing is, you got to determine, do you want to carry the debt or do you want to have impact on somebody? And man, I don't know. For me, it's like, the gifts are dumb. They're not dumb, but if they're not a meaningful gift, like you just went and bought something just to check them off a list and say, here you go, I got you a gift, yay, but it has no meaning, no love, no thought behind it. It's kind of an empty gift anyway.
Yeah.
And then you're putting yourself in debt, for the months
Just to
to
say
come.
you bought a gift. Yeah.
There are so many ways that you can show somebody you care and appreciate them. And for me, I tell my girls all the time, because, I'm a complicated person to buy for. If I like something, I buy it.
Just buy it. Yeah.
So I give myself the best presents. I totally do.
Because they're expensive.
Okay, well, I enjoy that. So anyway, but I'm paying for them.
Yes.
I'm not putting debt on them.
Yes.
However, one of the greatest things that I tell my girls, and really I've told everybody, I tell my parents and everything, don't give me gifts.
I know.
Mom, Dad, don't give me,
Yes.
I don't need anything.
We don't need anything.
We're blessed, I don't need anything. I just want to spend time with you. We love doing breakfast as part of our Christmas gathering, which is a little different, and that's special to me, so we never get to do that unless, we plan something specific in the years going like that. We just don't do it. But the girls sometimes, like 2 of them just wrote me a real special note. That is so cool to me.
Personal gifts. Yeah.
And they couldn't buy me anything that would be as special as that would be.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of ways that you can love somebody, show somebody you care about them, and you want to give them a gift and show up for them. But there's no shame in telling somebody or making it clear that, hey, look, finances are tight this year. It's all over. There's no shame in that. We just didn't have a lot of extra, so we wanted to do something more personal and more personal touch and give that to you instead.
Yeah.
And most people would love that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think setting a budget's a really big one. If people could set a budget and stay within that, it might help quite a bit. And also, we did something different this year with ours.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's
that.
very weird to me, but we did a
is weird.
Secret Santa thing because we were going out of town this year for Christmas, so that's like our big thing.
Which is tomorrow.
Yes.
So we're taking off tomorrow, headed for the Smoky Mountains, and so we rented a cabin for the whole family. So it's a big place that everybody can pack into, and we're pretty excited about it. I have this I keep saying this vision of a Hallmark movie. Not that I watch Hallmark movies. Anyway, I don't.
Secretly?
No, I don't. I
You
don't.
won't watch it with me, so yeah. I'm
Don't
joking.
ding my ego
I'm
here.
just joking.
No, I know, I'm just kidding. But that Christmas in the cabin and the snow starts
up on a
coming,
mountain,
and
yeah.
there's some people late, and a couple of our kids, one of our
late.
girls will be late. We know she's gonna be late, but anyway, and it just has that kind of special feel to it, and I think it's gonna be warm.
supposed to
and
snow.
there's not gonna be any snow, but
It's okay.
Anyway, I have that picture, so
Right.
it'll be our first experience, so I'm excited about it. But
Yeah.
that was essentially, and it was a big gift.
Yeah.
But that was the gift. I said, hey
Right.
guys, look, I'm going to rent this cabin that'll fit us all, and let's call that Christmas. And we go do that together. So instead of doing a bunch of gifts and a lot of them and all that kind of thing, and trying to fill around the tree and everybody, going through all the craziness of buying 1, 2, 3, however many gifts you buy for each person, let's keep it simple. So you guys came up with that. What is it? A Secret Santa?
Yeah, the girls did. Well, they did it before, but amongst themselves. But we all did it this time. So it's the first time in their lives I haven't bought all my girls a present. It's very weird to me.
We're giving them a present.
I know.
A week-long
I'm just
present.
saying it's just strange. But anyway, so that if you do something like that, that saves a lot of money. You just create a budget. This is what everybody spends. Keep it the same, and you get your Secret Santa person, gifts in that amount. But
On the gift side, we came out on the bad side this year because we paid for the house.
yeah,
But
that's all right.
here's the thing.
We're gonna have great memories.
That's right. So instead of, all the little presents that I lose track of them anyway, I don't know,
Yeah.
they're like trinket type stuff because I'm difficult anyway. So I would much rather have the photos, the
Time.
memories, and, in years to come, the grandkids and
Yeah.
us talking about, hey, remember when we were in the Smoky Mountains or whatever? Hey, remember the restaurant we ate at or that coffee, the hike we took? The memories, that's really where the value comes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's about spending time with family.
Right.
Why would you put your financial assets at risk? Why would you put your money at risk, or your ability to pay your bills, or just the extended cost that comes from credit card debt, all for this one day to feel like you gave presents away?
Right. And to take, what did you say, the average of 6 months to pay for all that? That's just,
6 months
That's a long
is what
time.
statistics say. $1,500 to $1,700 is the average, and it takes 46% of Americans don't have the debt paid off by the following October.
Wow, so
More than
almost a
6
year
months.
later.
Almost a year later to pay off the debt. So it's just not worth it.
Right, I agree. You need to do something different if
Look.
that's what you want.
Yeah. So here's the deal. If you truly want to reach your financial dreams and have a financial freedom in the future, you can't spend money like this. You just can't spend money like this. It takes time to accumulate, save, and develop good habits for your spending. And the kind of things like buying presents that you can't afford and carrying debt forward for so many months while you're paying interest on it, we should have done the math to see what that costs. But those are the things that just keep stealing your money every day. And if you truly want the prize at the end, or retirement, or somewhere 10, 15 years down the road, you have to sacrifice now. And here's the thing, it's okay. It's okay to sacrifice.
yeah.
You don't need to feel obligated to go into debt at Christmas time because it's Christmas and you feel like you need to buy presents. You don't. Write everybody a note and say, hey, I love you. You're special to me. Let's grab a cup of coffee.
Yeah, let's go
You can
do
get a
something
cup of
fun.
coffee at Starbucks for, I don't know,
Well, it depends on what
I
you
don't go
get.
Starbucks.
I don't either.
cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap. You can go to McDonald's and I don't know, get
my gosh.
a $2 cup of coffee or anywhere. You get the point. But the point is this, you can show love in a million different ways that doesn't put your finances at risk. If you haven't already, and you've already spent that $1,500 to $1,700, maybe remember this, because you're going to be paying for this until maybe as late as October. It's not worth it.